Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace be upon you and Allah mercy and blessing. Good morning, friends and Sir Ari. Before we start this event, it will be nice if we say basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, now we will present about the tenses that we must know, namely what and the first past continuous by Sarah, the second past perfect by Salma, the third past perfect continuous by Salma, the fourth present continuous by Irham, present perfect by Irham, present perfect continuous by Akmal, future continuous by Sarah, future perfect by Akmal, future perfect continuous by Indira. Okay, at the beginning of the presentation, Sarah will present the title past continuous. Let's go, Sarah. Share screen aja, silakan.
Hello, friends. Is my screen is seen? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
You can slideshow. Okay.
Okay. I will explain about the past continuous tense. First of all, we have to know what the definition of past continuous itself. Past continuous tense is a form of tense that is used to express that an action was taking a place for a certain time in the past. The indications, this form indicates that the action occurred before, during, and may continue after time or other actions that occurred in the past. In this past continuous, we have three formula. But before entering the formula one, we have to discuss a little more about this tense by looking at the points. There is 3 points below that. The first is the past continuous tense is formed with the auxiliary verb be in the form of was or were. This is because the past tense happened in the past and the present participle. The second point is was for singular subject in the form of singular nouns such as Andy, book, and cat, and singular pronouns such as I, she, he, and it, except you. And the last point is, on the other hand, were, which is a plural verb, is used in plural of subjects such as plural nouns such as cats, people, books, and plural pronouns such as you, they, we, and cats. And then we enter to the formula one. The first is positive sentences. There is the formula subject plus be. We can use was or were plus present participle with the verb ing. Example of the sentences is he was sleeping, and the second is the people were waiting. The second formula is negative sentence. The formula is subject plus be. We can use was or were plus not plus present participle with the verb ing. The example of the sentences is he was not sleeping, or we can say it he wasn't sleeping. The second one is the people weren't waiting. The last formula is interrogative sentence. The formula is be, was or were plus subject plus present participle with the verb ing. and the interrogative symbol. The example of the sentences is, was he sleeping? Or were the people waiting? And there is a function and usage of past continuous tense is to indicate an action that occurred during a certain moment in the past. The time information or time expression that can be used is at this time yesterday, at 5 a.m. this morning, all day yesterday, and in July. And what if we want to apply it in a sentence? Example is, I was having dinner at this time yesterday. The second one is, what was she doing at 7 a.m. this morning? And the last is, they were making a toast at this time last night. The second point, to show that there is an action of short duration and that occurs when an action of long duration is in progress. The subordinate conjunctions while and when can be used with the formulation of simple past tense plus while plus past continuous tense and past continuous tense plus when plus simple past tense. What is an example sentence? There is the door was knocked while I was reading a book. The second is, my mother was cleaning the carpet when I got home. The third is, she was sleeping when you called her. And then another point is the past continuous tense can also be used to talk about something that happens over and over again. The intervals of occurrence are random, but actually a natural habit. This tense is sometimes used to criticize an action. Example, I was repeatedly checking things. Second, the girl was always yelling out loud. Last, my neighbor was always chasing stray cats off with his broom. Last, the last point is this tense can also be used in a conjunction with verbs that indicate change or growth, such as go up, improve, go, and change. Example of sentences is, his hair was going so thin, and my life was changing rapidly. Okay, maybe the next sentence will be explained by Salma. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And now, past perfect tenses. What's past perfect tenses is the past perfect tenses is from the verb used to express this action was completed at some point in the past before another action occurred. Action that have been accomplished in past occur repeatedly or only once. Indicationnya, one of characteristic of these tenses of the use of had before the verb. In addition, these tenses can also be used to form a type 3 conditional sentence report speech. Next. Function and uses of the past perfect tenses. These tenses can be used to express an action in the past that was completed before another past moment occurred. If you want to talk about this condition, you can also insert a subordinate conjunctions such as after and before by this time. Example, when he came last night, the cake had run out. The student had gotten a verbal warning before his parents were called. And third, prior to the proclamation, Indonesia had been colonized by Japan for 3 years. Next. Past perfect tenses formula. The past perfect tenses is formed with the auxiliary verb had and the past participle verb third. Had is used for both singular and plural subjects, while the past participle is formed by adding and the C, N, or NE to the base form in the form of a regular verb. In the base form in the form of a regular verb, the past participle is inconsistent. The one positive sentence is subject plus head plus past participle verb third. Example, my brother had slept. And two, the had come. So negative sentence is subject plus head plus not plus past participle verb three. And so my brother had not slept. And two, they had not come. So in the last interrogative sentence or interrogative sentence, had plus subject plus past participle verb three. Example, had my brother slept. And two, had they come. Next. Sarah.
Yes.
Next.
Or the function example.
Yes. Function and example sentence of using the past perfect continuous tenses. Also explains the action occurred before any other action occurred. Example, when the guests come, we had be waiting for an hour. Notice the period of action. In a condition or action that is carried out, there must be a period that lasts. If you want to describe the period of an action that's happened in the past, especially distances is perfect for you to use. Example, the one by the time the teacher came, the student had been reading half part of the text, and two, I had been working with my computer all day, and all I wanted to was eat some chocolate. And so now past perfect continuous tenses. Definition of past perfect continuous tenses is past perfect continuous tenses is from of verb used to express an action that was completed at a certain point in the time in the past. As the name implies, which contain past, the past perfect continuous is a event or action that started in the past, occurred in the past, and also finished in period of time in the past. Past perfect continuous tenses formula. The past perfect continuous format with actually verb had and been and present participle. In the general, the past perfect continuous tenses only occurred in action in the form of dynamic or action verb, not stative verb, because generally or dynamic verb have a continuous form. The one positive sentence. To make positive sentence, you can use the formula subject plus head plus been plus verb ing or present participle. Example, the one Akila had been walking. The laborer had been working. And so negative sentence is a statement sentence that has the word no in it. You can add not is the middle of sentence with the formula subject plus had plus not plus been plus verb ing or present participle. Example, Akila had not been walking, and two, the laborer had not been working. And so show the intensive of an event. The past perfect can be used to show how often something happened in the past. Twice or to time plus before plus simple past tenses or participle every day or every 2 days. Example, I had read the book 3 times before I read his review. And so they had met twice before married and used for reported speech. The past perfect can be used for making reported speech or indirect speech in simple terms. Reported speech is a sentence that we convey from other people. The verb that can be used are said, told, asking, thought, and wondered. Example, he said he had listened carefully the instruction. And so I thought had changed to be better man. And so in the last making hope, the formula is if plus past perfect tense plus would or should or could or might plus have and plus past participle. Example is if you had remembered to invite me, I would have intention you party now would have been the same level with me if they had studied harder. And so Irham.
Okay, thank you, Salma. Now I'm gonna telling present continuous tense. The first point, definition of present continuous tense. Present continuous tense is a form of tense that is used to express that an action is ongoing for a certain time at the present time. The second point, present continuous tense formula. Posit, positive form is subject plus be, like am or is or are plus verb, verb ing. The second, negative form is subject plus be plus not plus verb ing. The third, interrogative form is be plus subject plus verb ing. The third point, use of tense. As we already know, the present continuous tense is a tense that is used to describe an ongoing situation. The next example, to indicate an action that is in progress and is happening now. Example, it's raining and I'm waiting for my mother to pick me up. The second, I'm writing this red letter to express my feelings to you. The third, she is dancing in the rain. To the second point, to talk about the action that took place around the time of the talk. Example, the first, Arnold is taking 5 class this semester. The second, at this moment, my husband keeps all his money in his clothes. So the last point, for example, to talk about plans that are sure to happen in the near future. Example, number one, she is spending her holiday in Bangkok next week. Number two, he's renting a whole theater for his anniversary tonight. Number three, my boss is promoting Stacy to be the new manager next month. Next, So the second tense that I'm explaining now is present perfect tense. The first point, definition of present perfect tense. Present perfect tense is a form of verb used to express an action or a situation that start in the past and in still continuing until now or has been complete at a certain point in time in the past, but the effect is still ongoing. The second point, present perfect tense formula. Have is used for I, you, and plural subjects such as plural pronouns like they, we, plural nouns, boys, men, compound subject with the conjunction and you and I, Tom and Jack. While has for singular subject like person, singular pronoun, he, she, it, singular noun, Tom, man. The past participle is formed by adding at and the, t, and, or, ne to the base form of a regular, regular verb. In the base form, in the form of an irregular verb, in the past participle is inconsistent. Next. So we look three point. Number one, positive statement sentence. Number example apa? Uh, Number one, I or subject plus have plus verb three. Number two, he, see, it. Oh, plus has plus verb three. The second point, negative statement sentence. Example, number one, are you Dewi plus have plus not plus verb three. Number two, he, see, it plus has plus not plus verb three. The third point, question or interrogative sentence. Number one, have plus Ayu Dewi plus verb three. Number two, has or plus he, see, it plus verb three. Here are some adverbs that are commonly used to express the present perfect tense. Number one, yet, already, just, ever, never. And when we talk about unfinished action or a certain situation, then we can use for, signs. Next. For the next point, the right time to use the present perfect tense, how to identify a condition that a sentence has the present perfect tense, or when is the right time to use this tense. You can see its characteristics with the following example of the time expression. Number one, there's already, just, recently, or lately, ever, yet, for, plus adverb of time, since plus adverb of time. The next point, example sentence of present perfect tense. If implement into a sentence, how about that? How about it? Example. Next. Talking about experience, like I have been to France, Or I think I have seen that movie before. Joan has studied two foreign languages. I've been to Bali 3 times. Have you ever been there? How many times have you traveled abroad? A tenth. You have grown since the last time I saw you. The government has become more interested in arts education. Japanese has become one of the most popular courses at the university since the Asian Studies program was established. My English has really improved since I moved to Australia. As women or result, man has walked on the moon. Our son has learned how to read. Doctors have cured many deadly diseases. Scientists have split the atom. Next, unfinished activities. James has not finished his homework yet. Susan has not mastered Japanese, but she can communicate. Bill has still not arrived. The rain has not stopped. Several activities that occurred at different times. The army has been attacked that city 5 times. I have had 4 quiz and 5 tests so far this semester. We have had many major problems while working on this project. She has spoken to several specialists about her problem, but nobody knows why she is sick. The next point, using the present perfect in the passive form. We have seen example of when it is active. That is when the subject is depicted performing an action. When we use the passive form, we focus on what or who is receiving the action. Next, we can use the passive form in almost all tenses by adding the verb to be before the verb. For example, in the present simple, active form is people collect the goods. Passive forms is the goods are collected. In the past simple form, the sentence become active forms is people collect the goods yesterday. Passive forms is the goods were collected yesterday. If needed, we can express the same with the present perfect. Active form is people have collected the goods. Passive forms is the goods have been collected. In the passive form of the present perfect, we always use has or have been plus verb 3. Here are some examples. The interns has been trained. The proposals have been written. Have the applicants been interviewed? The application have not been checked yet. Next. Okay. Maybe the next time for Sarah.
Okay, thank you, Ilham. I will explain about future continuous tense. We have to know the definition of future continuous tense is future continuous tense is a form of tense in English, which is usually called the future progressive tense. The use of this tense indicates that an event will occur in the future and will continue for some time. The important thing that to remember is that an event described by this tense has a time duration. The functions is have 3 points that are expressing an activity that will be or is being carried out at some time in the future or in the future with a specific time at verb. Example, Henry will call you at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. The point 2 is indicates which is event is taking place in the future when another event is also happening in this future. Example, I will be playing games when you come tonight. The last point is Asking a question politely and formally with the aim of conveying one's intentions. Example, will you be coming home? It can be concluded that the use of the future continuous tense is the same as the past continuous. The difference is that it happens in the future. So we have to use the future tense or the second sentence with the simple present. And there is a formula of future continuous tense. The first one is positive sentence formula. Is subject plus will or shall plus be and plus verb ing. Usage will be used for objects like I, you, they, we, he, she, it. While the usage that will be used for objects I and we. Example sentence include Michaela will take part in the marathon this Sunday morning. I will be staying with my sister for a week. I'm going to eat at 7 tonight. The second one is negative sentence formula. Subject plus will or shall plus not plus be plus verb ing and plus complement. The example sentences are, I will not be staying with my sister for a week. Erica will not be competing against Michaela in the race when the race starts. Due to the new regulation of our office, we shall not be eating in our room, starts from tomorrow morning. Will not and shall not can be shortened in English sentences to won't and shan't. However, the use of the abbreviation shan't is not commonly used in everyday conversation, usually used only in written form. The last formula is interrogative sentence formula. The formula is will or shall plus subject plus be plus verb ing plus complement. If in the declarative sentence will and shall be placed after the object, in the interrogative sentence will and shall be placed at the front. Example are, will Sunny and Rain be watching Michaela race this Sunday evening? Will I be sleeping in this room? Will you be coming to Susie's farewell party? Shall you be returning this tray to that counter, please? And the last is, will James be exercising at the gym? And that's all. Thank you. Guys, ini rekamannya udahin kan ya?
Okay, next, future perfect continuous tense. Definition of future perfect continuous tense is a form of sentence that is used to express an ongoing or continuous action that will begin at a certain time or the future and will continue until a later time. Note, in future perfect continuous, there will always be an advanced time reference such as for 10 months, for 2 years, since Monday, since June. If there is no time reference, then it's not a future perfect continuous tense. Without a continuous time reference, such a sentence is a future continuous tense. Continuous time reference can distinguish between the future continuous tense and the future perfect continuous tense. Next. The formula of future perfect continuous tense is, first, itu positive sentence formulas. Ada subject plus will or shall plus have plus been plus verb one plus ing plus object plus since or for plus adverb of time. Second, negative sentence formulas is subject plus will or shall plus not plus have plus been plus verb one plus ing plus o object plus since or for plus object of time. Third, interrogative sentence formulas. Will or shall plus subject plus have plus been plus verb one
plus in plus object plus since or for plus object of time. Example, I will have been writing for 3 hours by the time my friend get here. This is example for positive sentence formulas. And negative sentence formulas, I will not have been writing for 3 hours by the time my friend get here. The example of interrogative sentence formulas is, will I have been writing for 3 hours by the time my friend get here. Next. Nah, the function of the future perfect continuous tense can be used for the following circumstances for events. One, serves to express an event or events that will occur at a time that will last for some time in the future. Example, I shall have been living in Malang for 5 years by next year. Second, serves to express an event or events that will occur at a time that has been done in the past and will continue in the future. Example of sentence, Rose will have been visiting her aunt for a week by the end of this year. And next, the characteristic of the future perfect continuous tense are one, the predicate sentence. Sentence that is often used in this sentence is shall or will. Example of sentence, I shall have been cooking rendang. Two, even though the sentence shows a singular third word, the word have does not change into has, because it is a formula for a sentence that has been written and cannot be changed. Example of sentence, I have been reading novels for 2 weeks. 3. After the word have is the word in which indicates that the action is already being done. Nah, time signalnya itu ada for, next, at this time tomorrow, for 2 weeks by the month, by the end of 2000, and by the end of this week. Okay.
Definition of present perfect continuous. The present perfect continuous tense is a form of the verb used to express an action that has been completed at some point in the past, or an action has begun in the past and continues until now. Action in this tense usually lasts a certain time and have relevance to current condition. Reporting from grammarly, the present perfect continuous has another name for the present perfect progressive tense. Present perfect continuous rumus. To make it easier to understand, you only need to look at the name of this tense to use the right verb. Present perfect continuous tense is formed with auxiliary verb have or has been and present participle. Next. Have is used for I, you, and plural subjects such as. Plural pronouns such as they, we, plural nouns such as boy or man, and compound subject with the conjunctions and, such as you and I, Tom and Jack. While has for singular subject such as third person singular pronoun such as he, she, it, and singular nouns such as Tom and man. In general, the present perfect continuous tense only occurs in action in the form of dynamic verb, not stative verb, because generally only dynamic verbs have a continuous form. This tense formula is divided into 3 depending on the type of sentence, including a positive sentence. To make a positive sentence, the formula used is as plus have or has plus been plus present participle. The example sentence are as follow: she has been driving, or he has driven. The toddler have been sleeping. Next. Number 2, negative sentence. To make negative sentence, the formula used is as plus have or has plus not plus been plus present participle. The example sentence are she has not been driving, or he hasn't driven yet. Interrogative sentence. An interrogative sentence is an interrogative sentence. The formula used is have or has plus as plus been plus present participle. The example sentence are has she been driving, or has he driven? Have the toddlers been sleeping? Uses and examples of present perfect continuous sentence. Next. Show complete action. Present perfect continuous tense to show action that has been complete at a point in the past followed by its relevance to the current state. What is an example sentence? The construction laborers are thirsty since they have been removing the scaffolding. Number 2, Mandy feels full as she's been eating half of the tart. Number 3, I have been working with my computer all day, and now I want some delicious food. I have been working on the computer all day, and now I want some delicious food. So recently complete action. In addition to showing an action that is still ongoing until now. This tense can also be used when you want to show an action or condition that you just finished doing. Next. The adverb just is used to denote this condition. What is an example sentence? It has just been snowing in Japan. Please take off your shoes because I just have been sweeping the floor. Please take off your shoes because I just swept the floor. Number 3, sorry you are late. He has just been going to the airport. Indicates an action that has started in the past. Is an action still going on today, even though it started in the past? You can still use this sentence. What is an example sentence? I have been driving a car through the rain for an hour. The passenger have been waiting for the next flight since this morning. The passenger have been waiting for the next flight since this morning. Next. Future perfect. We use the future perfect tense to describe a completion that is similar but takes place in the future. Example, I will have finished the report by lunchtime. After our next trip, we will have been to Paris 3 times. In June, he will have lived here for 3 years. How to compose future perfect? The future perfect tense is quite easy to compose because it has the same structure for everyone. Basically, you need to use will plus have plus the past participle form of the main verb. Example, you will have studied. To create the past participle of a verb or verb, you can add the suffix meanwhile irregular verbs have a variety of past participles, and it will take you some time to learn them all. Next. The time expression by is often used in conjunction with the future perfect, meaning no more than or at. Here are some explains. By 5 p.m., the conference will have finished. By 2030, the world population will have become much bigger. Will you have written the contract by Friday? Is future perfect used for everyday conversation? Like all verb tense in English, the future perfect tense is used every day by native speaker in both written and spoken, as well as in formal or informal situation. Therefore, this tense is very worthily to be studied. Here are some other examples to study so that you become more familiar with the future perfect tense. Next. Example, call me at 2 p.m. I will have eaten lunch by then. Number 2, by next Friday, we will have moved into our next new home. Number 3, let's wait until 5 p.m. The game will have finished by then. Number 4, we will have resolved the IT problem by this afternoon. Next, in May, she will have been in Australia for 10 years. Next, by tomorrow, you will have had 5 interviews with this company. You won't have left when I arrive, will you? They will have painted the house before moving in. What will you have done by the end of today? Next. Finish.
Thank you so much. And if there are shortcomings, please forgive, because the error come from me and the truth come from Allah. Well, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much.